Hello, I'm Mr. Brzezinski and I'm talking you through how to do your resume project. Now, we're going to be using the Google Applied Digital Skills to walk us through each segment of how to create a good resume. So that hyperlink for Google Applied Digital Skills is right here somewhere along in Schoology. So look for it in the assignments. It's a hyperlink in the assignments. The applied digital skills are broken down into segments. So the Google instructor will talk you through what to do, but watch all the way to the end of that video segment, and at the end it'll say, it's your turn, and then you take action. And then you hit continue, scroll down, hit continue after that video, and listen to everything she has to say, and then it's your turn, that's when you take action. Okay, so she's going to be talking about things like job experiences. And while she's talking about it, you're thinking, I don't have any jobs. I'm too young for that, Mr. B. But listen to the very end, and she starts talking about anything that shows responsibility, work ethic, any of those things can be used. So if you were a classroom helper, or you have chores around the house, or you help out at the community center, you coach a youth league, any of those things could be considered your job experiences. And then you want to incorporate, maybe you have a list of them, you want to incorporate 2, maybe 3, depending on if you have room on your resume, but you want to pick your best, your strongest ones that you feel are your best. Now, in the beginning of the instruction, the Google Assistant, the Google teacher, is going to talk about creating a brainstorm. You're going to follow those instructions. You're going to go to your Drive or your Doc, and you're going to create a new document, and you're just going to put in the information. Don't format it. Don't do anything. That will come later when you're talking about the My document that's associated with the Schoology project. So first, you're just doing the brainstorming. Pay attention to exactly what she wants you to do, and don't format it at all. Just get your information down. It's about speed. Just getting thoughts out of your brain and onto the word processor. Okay, so let's say you are you mow the lawn, so that's your job experience. But you don't want to say I'm a lawnmower. That's a machine. You're more than that. You're a landscaper. You're a groundskeeper. You could use these type of decorative words within your resume to make you sound very important. And then you want to elaborate on that as well. Like, I gas up equipment. I maintain equipment, which means I took the grass out from underneath the lawnmower. But that's important, right? To know that I maintain things. I'm not just pushing the lawnmower. I use the weed whacker. I trim the lawn. I do all these other things. So you want to incorporate all those little bits into your experiences when you go to describe it on your final product. So use that in your brainstorming as well. Now, some people get a little bit confused on the GPA part of the education or education segment in general. That's okay. You could use Nichman as your experience, or you could say the BASD and then give your projected graduation date as the time frame, so present to 2020, whenever you're going to graduate. Or you could put in if you're applying for a job that you think you will be applying for in high school, then of course you could just put in graduate of Nichman Middle School and then put the year that you would graduate Nichman Middle School. Another thing that confuses people is the GPA. Now, the GPA, there's a conversion chart. It's a hyperlink in the assignments that you could check. Now, if you feel that you're like a B student, generally I'm a B student. Sometimes I get a C, sometimes I get an A+. So I'm about a B student. So I'm going to just use that conversion chart to find out what the GPA is. It's really not a hard number that you have to figure out. It's kind of just put it in where it's supposed to go and make it look good as part of the template, right where it normally would go in that font, in that format. So you take all that information from your brainstorm and you're going to put it into your template. Now here's the trick. You need to make sure that it's going into the little areas. So if there's a spot that has a bold face word, it's a certain size or whatever, you want to put something into that spot. And if it's italicized afterwards, you want something in that spot from your brainstorm to fit into those areas where it shows you. Okay, so fill in your entire resume in those areas from your brainstorm, bring them over, but make sure that you're pasting them in the style that the template is in, because at the end of the day, I want your template to look like a professional document. It looks just like the original template, except as your information instead of the Latin words. And then finally, before you turn it in, make sure that you check a few things. You check your spelling. You check capitalization, okay? So Bethlehem takes a capital B. Your name, obviously, capital letters where needed, okay? And punctuation. Make sure that there's a space after every punctuation, whether it be a comma or a period. You have a space afterwards. Make sure your document is just one page, okay? People don't want to flip over to see what your resume says on the other side. So just make sure that it's all one page. And if you have to, consolidate one of the sections by maybe not making a list, but using commas and then putting words in a row and letting the text wrap the words around. So maybe you have to take something out. Maybe you have to just consolidate what you're saying into less words. So make sure that it all fits onto one page before you turn it in. And of course, your grammar, spelling, capitalization, all that stuff is important, especially for a resume, because you only get one chance to make a first impression.